For today's Cyber CEO episode,
Cyberbacker, her name's Chloe, a wonderful young woman. What we've been really lucky with and fortunate with our Cyberbacker is we just found someone who really had that positive, upbeat energy, the passion and the attitude, which matches what we were looking for and our team. The willingness and the want to work as well. It's just been different. I mean, that's really been the X factor in us working with Cyberbacker and specifically Chloe.
Welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our Cyberbackers helped our Cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show. Jared, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's the last, whatever day it is, last Thursday of the week.
Yeah,
so
true. Now, first off, we'd like to thank you for your time. I know you have a lot of things to do. We really appreciate you dropping by today. Now, to start things off, to let you know, we have a lot of listeners who are business owners just like yourself. So I need your help. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Maybe we can start with what's your role in the business?
Yeah, so Jared Huseman here, based out of Des Moines, Iowa, president of the Katalyst Team, as you see in the background if you're on video. We are the part of KW Commercial Realty. We are commercial real estate brokers with a specialty in multifamily across the state of Iowa here. And we've had this business now for, I think, 7 years.
7 years. How about for you, though? In real estate, is it 7 years too?
Longer, actually. Yeah, I've been in real estate now since 2009. So right at 13 years in real estate. 7 years on the ownership side, still own some properties as investments. Mm-hmm. And then right about 7 years or so of now, 6.5 years or so of brokerage.
There we go. A lot of experience for you right there just in real estate. But how about working with someone virtual? Is this your first time?
No, actually, this is, I believe, my third time working with someone with Cyberbacker. In the past, I've worked with things like Fiverr and Upwork, more project-based, never ongoing. Cyberbacker was the first time I've ever really made a investment in someone more of a full-time or part-time staff. I did at one time previously have an assistant I tried to hire part-time via, I think it was Upwork or Fiverr at that point in time. It lasted, honestly, God, I think it was a few weeks. First weeks were great. Work started tapering off at that point. So did the communication. And I was having to let her go from any kind of full-time service because just the quality was falling off.
All right, gotcha. So not really your first go in the virtual world then, but way back before, did you ever imagine that this would be possible in real estate or any kind of business, the virtual leverage piece?
Yeah, so honestly, I've been telling all my friends about Cyberbacker and just the use of virtual assistants here in the last few months. Ever since COVID, I think COVID has really, especially with the current economic conditions we're in, really exacerbated the need and the usage of Cyberbacker. I've been super happy. It's amazing how far the industry has come in the last 2 or 3 years since COVID's transaction. So from my experience as well, I'll tell anybody out there listening, if they've ever used a VA before in the past and say, oh, it didn't work. The industry has completely changed from what it was a few years ago. I would highly recommend trying it again because this is a very different industry than it was in its infancy a few years ago.
It's quite different, actually. A lot stronger now, too, and a lot more things that they can do online, right?
Yeah, I think with the birthplace of technology and Zoom, it's just become so much more commonplace to be able to do these things. And again, just the quality also of talent has just gone up as well as we've been able to be more exposed to this environment, this world.
Yes, 100% agree with you there. Now, I forgot to ask earlier, how did you first find out about Cyberbacker anyway?
So I did find Cyberbacker through a friend of mine. Her name's 𝗙𝗎. She did refer me over to Cyberbacker. She, I believe, uses one or two herself. And so it was a referral, actually. And then I've obviously paid that forward and referred out Cyberbacker myself a couple of times to friends and other colleagues.
course, we appreciate that, Jared. Now, talk to me about your experience with Cyberbacker. First question I have is, of course, before you got to work with your Cyberbacker, we provide a training here in Cyberbacker. So did that help you in any way? Maybe help you save time or anything?
The training was awesome. That was the part that I didn't want to do the most of, which was the train. I didn't want to train on any of the CRMs we use. I didn't want to train on how to do anything. Just to being very bluntly honest, I mean, as a busy business owner, my team being busy, it was taking time out of our time to train someone. It's the hardest and longest process. So the fact that there was at least initial training up front was awesome. Obviously, you'll need a little more, further steps in training as you get maybe more into the weeds of things. But that was one of the favorite parts, the fact that training was taking place right off the bat.
Yes, again, we're here to support you all throughout, of course. And now, talk to me about your Cyberbacker then. What are the tasks that you leverage off to her?
We've actually transitioned a little bit. So the first task we had of our Cyberbacker, her name's Chloe, a wonderful young woman there in the Philippines. We first had her running our CRM system. We use a thing called Command as well as RealNext for commercial real estate agents. So we had her running that. We even had her doing some cold calling as well as on our behalf, some research and analytics on some ownership groups. And then we really transitioned her away from that into more of a social media online presence kind of manager now. And the reason for that was, this is something you may not even know, backstory here. Around the same time we hired our Cyberbacker, Chloe, the young gal there in the Philippines, we actually brought on a in-person assistant as well, a young woman here in the US, in office, in person, same age as well, same time. And the reason we transitioned Chloe's role from CRM more to the online social media kind of thing was because our in-person assistant actually left our team because, well, she was still at the team, but she was also somewhat asked to leave as well. Because we were getting more out of our Cyberbacker than we were in person. And it was amazing night and day difference from in-person US based to the Cyberbacker. The quality of work, the communication was just so much better. So when our in-house assistant left for another role at another organization, we really transitioned Chloe from what she was doing more into the online presence.
There we go. So a huge transition, growth for your Cyberbacker. Of course, more things to do, more opportunities to grow. Now, how long have you been working with her? I forgot to ask.
We've been working since May now. And as we record this, it's in October. So about 5 months.
5 months now with your Cyberbacker. So fairly new partnership. So again, there's been a transition within that 5 months. But what I'm excited to know more about is what are some of the new things that you got lined up for her, new tasks that you want her to do, let's say within the next 6 months from today?
We're still working through that a little bit right now. Honest to God, we're somewhat limited with our time frame. We've asked our Cyberbacker to go more full time, and based on her current family structure and business structure and school structure, she's unable to go full time. So we're kind of limited by that. If we could make her full time, we would. But we're kind of looking at giving her more of an ownership role of her role. That makes sense. So less and less about, hey, we need you to post this, run this, do that, to more of a decision-making process of what do you think we should do next? How is this running? What are your opinions on things? And trying to actually grow her into more of a decision maker in that role. Again, ownership of the role beyond just the task follower.
There we go. So just taking ownership of what she can do then for you to help you with the business, right?
Sure. And then also letting her own that role as well. And it frees up my team and my staff to do more of what we're good better at and we're good at as well, rather than having to always, task assign or orient at our times away from what we're doing.
Of course. 100% agree with you there. Now, next question. 5 months into the partnership that you have with Chloe, how did this become a successful partnership between you and your Cyberbacker? Because for sure, some of our listeners might have a difficult time transitioning to the virtual world. Do you have any tips that you can share?
Tips and tricks, I guess. First off, patience at the end of the day. On both sides of the equation. Look, there's going to be some gaps. There's going to be some nuances. You got to get used to it. Understand also too that like not everybody's going to be the right fit for us or them. So that's going to be part of it. I think what's really made it a good transition is just the open communication on both sides. Also the constant communication on Cyberbacker's part as well with the EODs, and reports, as well as their weekly reports as well. So I think it's open communication. And honest to God, and I'll give Chloe 100% credit for this, it's her positivity and everything she does. Her just natural energy and positivity has really been crucial in the success. And then I think also not putting the cart before the horse. I think understanding that we need to start off with, we need you to follow these tasks and do these tasks. As you get good at, showing your ability to accomplish tasks, we'll move more into decision making and ongoing. You have to start looking at how you structure the task you're asking to be completed. Don't just throw someone in there and tell them, I need you to do all this for me, because they don't know. You're giving them too much authority day one. Just, again, ease your way into it. Start off with remedial tasks, basic things. And again, be open in your communication. One thing we've worked out really well as well is that, Chloe and myself, Chloe and also my operations, Heather, we'll have weekly Zoom calls still, just to recap. Hey, what's working on? What's going well? What questions do you have? What questions do we have? What are you working on? Again, constant communication as well. That's going to always be, I think, a solution.
There we go. The open communication, because again, they're already thousands of miles away from you, working with your business. If you don't really communicate, then how's that going to work, right?
Right. And communicating also like this, via Zoom as well, via face-to-face, not over the phone, not over text, not over email. We're talking a face-to-face conversation where we can get a lot more communication out of this than just a quick email even.
100% agree with you there. Now, one last question, and I know for sure Chloe's going to be able to listen to this once we have this online. So we'd like to know, what do you like most about Chloe? What's the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about her?
It has to be the attitude, the passion and the attitude. I can say at one point when she was doing some work for us in the beginning before we transitioned a little bit, she'd get some bad cold calls and some bad calls. It's just, let's call it what it is. When you're cold calling people, sometimes people get some frustration with you. And her ability to always be positive and energetic, even though people were yelling at her sometimes, she was still maintaining the positive attitude of, nope, it's okay. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get better. And she never took it personally. I'm sure she probably did take it personally, but she was able to still keep herself up, find her own motivation. So absolutely, what we've been really lucky with and fortunate with our Cyberbacker is we just found someone who really had that positive, upbeat energy, which matches what we were looking for and our team.
Yes, again, someone with a positive attitude. I think that's a plus to any business, any organization, right?
I think it's a plus, yeah. And that's one thing, again, I don't want to hit this too hard, but that's one thing that I found, I guess, most valuable in working with Cyberbacker and even the VAs so far that are not based in the U.S. My past experience has been even with U.S.-based VAs. But the willingness and the want to work as well. True. It's just been different. I'm not trying to get into political debates here or problems, but a lot of people U.S.-based have a little bit of an entitlement issue or don't want to work. And again, that positive energy, that want to work, want to get better, striving for perfection. That's really been the X factor in us working with Cyberbacker and specifically Chloe.
There we go. Now, we are very, very excited to see where this partnership grows to for the next couple of months. And again, Jared, thank you very much for dropping by today. I had fun talking to you.
All right. My pleasure. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of CyberCEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.